What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more acid-dub-techno, or acid-ska more specifically. And indeed, we're going back to the International Ska Techno Review Volume 1. I did react to the Jaw Scoop tune from this, which is Ital Acid Skank, several months ago. It's a record from 2024. I'm not sure if I knew this when I did that reaction, but apparently this is a sublabel of Stomping Ground Records, a label run by Ilya, I believe his name is, and it's distributed by Flat Life, so also shout out to Jack Wax. But yes, in the previous reaction I did, I don't know if I was aware it was a sublabel of Stomping Grounds. I do actually have a couple Stomping Grounds records, so maybe we'll go through some tracks in the coming months from the 2 installments I have from that label. I think there are more than 2 records overall, but yeah, I think I only have 2 of them. In any case, we're going to listen to a tune by Nesbit, and his real name is Jared. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, I reacted to his Ganja Man, and in fact, I think this is an even better tune than Ganja Man. But yes, he's another artist who has provided multiple tracks in the acid dub style, so shout out to, of course, Jaw Scoop, but also Benji and Nesbit and others who have worked in that realm. Of course, Bad Boy Pete, shout out to my friend Pete. But yeah, I used this track in, I think it was the Acid Skanking mix, I think that's right, maybe about a year ago. But yes, it is a top tune. I love the stylings. It's got that rhythm ska guitar, it's got some horns, I believe, it's got great acid work, so let's give it a listen. This is by Nesbit, Acid-Ska Rebel on International Ska Techno Review Volume 1, which, as I said, is from 2024.
Ska Rebel.
I love that little acid snarl. It's like someone's stomach is hungry for acid.
Ska Rebel.
Ska Rebel. The layered acid, deep foundational layer, spiraling and ascending acid line on top of it. Acid-ska Rebel. So I was wrong about one thing, I think. The rhythmic chord that, in ska and reggae, but especially in ska, that gives you that constant pulsing melodic rhythm, it's often a guitar, and I was thinking that's what it was in advance, but hearing it again now, I think it's a keyboard chord. But either way, again, it gives you that constancy and that skanking rhythm. And indeed, this track manages to sound both mellow and smooth in a ska manner, even though the acid is actually quite electric and, is doing some layered, energetic spiraling. So yeah, it manages to sort of ride the line between energetic and wicked and mellow and smooth, which I suppose that's indicative of it being an acid dub track, whereas like a straight away acid techno track often is in the having it kind of wicked category. Of course there's different kinds of acid techno, including trippy, other dimensional type of acid techno, but yeah, in the like London sound, it tends more toward the having it wicked and driving acid fireworks, and then acid ska can be again a bit more mellow and smooth, and this one's kind of right on the border. But yeah, it really does make me think of an entire warehouse of people just kind of skanking around, getting their skank on, having a smile on their face. It's relatively, I'm not going to say simple, but there aren't parts that really stand out exceptionally from other parts of the track. It just kind of gets into a vibe, into a groove, and it does its thing. Now, certainly the acid does flare up a little more over time, including after that major breakdown, which, it's not like this big build up and release crash cymbal. It just, builds up a little bit, pause, acid, Ska Rebel, and it comes back in. So, yeah, it's not about the build, it's about just keeping that vibe going throughout most of the track, even as it does get a bit more dense over time. And I do like the way that, again, almost like acid indigestion snarl that we hear in a small part, like cyclically at the beginning, it then becomes more constant and, provides a real foundation, and then the more spiraling, like higher acid line ascends over it. So again, I like the layered acid work. I don't know where that sample comes from. I'm assuming it's a sample. I suppose it could be recorded anew for the track, but I'm guessing that's taken from somewhere, but I can't think of what track it is. So yeah, it's just a cool tune. It's interesting, I said at the beginning that I think it's a better tune than Ganja Man. I put them maybe on the same level, having just reheard it now. Ganja Man has a bit harder of a sound because the vocal sample in that one, it's a bit more shouty, a bit more like raga and wicked, whereas here, the sample, it's just quick and it's almost, it's echoed. In fact, that echo, I wasn't thinking of that in advance either. When he says acid ska rebel, it's like the rebel part goes into this constant echo loop, and it's not huge, it doesn't like pervade the track, but if you listen, it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. It almost becomes like a synth layer in the track. So yes, I hadn't recalled that, and I do enjoy that detail. But yeah, if you like acid ska, if you like acid dub techno, I think this is very much in a good vein. And once again, shout out to all people who make this style. I'll always say it, Josh Scoop is the master, but whether you're talking Pete or Benji or Nesbit and a few others, and certainly Tittles has shown up on some releases with acid dub techno as the voice recorded anew, meaning not a sample taken from a track, but using newly recorded vocals. So basically, shout out to everyone in the acid dub techno universe. Shout out again to Jack Wax as well as to Ilya for the International Ska Techno review sublabel. Let me know what you think of this, and as I said, if you'd like to hear this in the context of a mix, I think it's acid skanking. Let me just make sure of that while we're still on camera here, because I don't want to send you to the wrong mix. Oh, whoops, Skankin' Pickle comes up a lot, doesn't it? Well, let me look. Okay, so is it in this mix? Yes, it is. It is indeed in that mix, so if you want to hear this in the context of a mix, go check out my acid skankin' mix. And yeah, let me know what you think, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.